Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 7 of the Network Marketers Playbook podcast. This is your host, Melissa May, and I'm really excited about the topic today. We are going to talk about coachability. How many athletes are following the podcast? I'm an athlete. I played volleyball. I played softball at the collegiate level. I still love to play some softball, some slow pitch. Beer league softball is one of my favorite things to do. It's definitely a hobby of mine, and my daughter is getting into softball, and so I get to coach her now, and I'm obsessed. I love the sport. I'm an athlete, and so this concept of coachability is something that I think is so valuable and so important, and it's something that I want to respond to today because I saw some people interacting in a Facebook group, and someone was searching for a mentor, and there was mention of the type of coach she was looking for, and it just spurred a thought inside of me. And so I wanted to share something because one of the most flattering compliments I have ever received in my life, and to this day, I still remember the exact moment. I remember where I was standing. Like, it was just something that I was so proud to hear because it was a core value of mine. I had a softball coach in college, our assistant coach, look at me and say, Melissa, you are one of the most, if not the most coachable player I have ever coached. And it was in a game where I was playing third base. And if you know anything about baseball or softball, that's the hot corner, and the ball comes back to you very, very quickly. And in softball specifically, when you are fielding a bunt, every once in a while, the third baseman has to come really, really close to the batter. And so I had my assistant coach ask me to take a bunch of steps forward, where I was basically standing next to the pitcher as she was pitching the ball. That's how close to the batter I was playing and how far away from third base I was playing. And the batter hit the ball. It was a line drive right to me. I caught the line drive, threw the ball to first, made a double play, ended the inning. And I just think to myself, what would have happened in that inning or in that game if I was not coachable? See, a coachable player knows that their coach can see something that they might not be able to see. A coachable player trusts that their coach believes they're capable of making the play. That's why they ask them to move up. And a coachable player is willing to learn. They're willing to do what is being asked of them. And so my question to you is, are you a coachable player? Are you coachable? Do you know what coachability looks like? And so I have some things that I want to share that I think will help you identify if you're coachable. And then at the end of the podcast, I actually have something special for you guys that I'm so excited about. So first of all, let's talk about the definition of coachability. You are open to being taught and trained in order to improve. So why is coachability so important in your network marketing business? Well, as a leader, as a mentor, I only have so much time in my day. And so I'm looking for those who are coachable. I'm looking for those who are willing. I'm looking for those who are respectful of my time. And if I give coaching, they're taking action, right? Not taking it as a mere suggestion, but taking immediate action. They're showing you that they want your time. They're showing you that they respect your time and your energy and are willing to do what it takes. They're showing you that they want this, right? And so if you are someone who wants more time with your mentor, if you are someone who is looking for a mentor, if you are looking to grow and really build a successful business, and you know what it will take is a really good coach, then you need to be a really good coachable player, because a really, really good coach, a really, really good mentor, a really, really good leader in network marketing only has so much time in a day and is going to give that time to the most coachable player. And so my challenge to you is, how coachable are you? And so let's talk about what becoming coachable could look like. So I know it feels really good to get complimented, and we should be complimenting each other, and we should be hyping each other up, and we should be supporting each other. And the most coachable player is not the one who is always seeking only positive feedback. The most coachable player is willing and open to hear constructive feedback. You're open and willing to ask for constructive feedback, not just hearing all of the things you're doing good. You want to hear what someone sees are your blind spots. You want to hear what someone sees you could be doing differently. You want to hear what your coach sees as an area of opportunity where you could really pour and develop, right? And so here is something that I would encourage you to do. Go ask your mentor for feedback. Ask them something. Here's the thing. Ask them something that you should start doing. Ask your mentor something you should stop doing, and ask your mentor something you should continue doing. And in corporate America, this is called a start, stop, continue. Tell me something I should start doing. Tell me something I should stop doing. Tell me something that you see me doing that I should continue doing. All right. You, as the player on the team, should be asking for the feedback. You should be saying, Coach, how can I get better? What should I start doing? What should I stop doing? What should I continue doing? Right? And then step number 2, immediately put those suggestions into action. There is nothing more frustrating from a coach's perspective than when someone's taking your coaching as a suggestion, right? So leaders and coaches pay attention to who is executing. Leaders and coaches pay attention to who is taking action. So let me give you an example. If I send a podcast to someone, or if I send a book recommendation to someone, or I say to someone that I'm coaching, hey, come back to me with a time and a date for this specific action that we can take together, and then it's crickets, that is an identifier that that person's not coachable. They're not willing. They're only willing to do the things that are comfortable. They're only willing to do the things that they want to do, right? That's not a coachable player. You are not coachable if you're like, listen, if I have a mentor who spent time, energy, and effort to listen to a podcast or read a book and then send me a message suggesting that I listen to that, you know what I am doing immediately? I'm listening to that podcast, and then I am responding to my mentor or my coach, thanking them for sending it to me, and then sharing what I learned, sharing my distinction, so that they can identify me as a coachable player, so that they continue to want to pour into me, so that they continue to want to mentor me. If my mentor would send me a podcast or a book recommendation and I would never get back to them with what I learned, it would be a clear identifier that I was just taking that as a suggestion and not coaching. Right? And so make sure that if your mentor is sharing things with you, that you're responding. If your mentor says, hey, I'm going to do this for you, send me a message, reach out to me, and you don't do it, are you being a coachable player, right? And coachability is everything. If you want to truly grow and learn, you need to show that you're a coachable player. Number 3, the most coachable players recognize that their coach came before them, and success leaves clues. So they're not trying to recreate the wheel. They're not trying to find a new way of doing something. You are observing and watching what the person who came before you did, and you're recreating it, right? And coachable players recognize, and just like I did when I was a softball player, they recognize that your coach, your mentor might see things that you can't. They might have experienced things that you haven't experienced yet. So they know things that you might not know yet. So when they're coaching you, when they're telling you, giving you direction or telling you to do something a certain way, it's because they've been there, they've done it, they know. And then here's the last thing that I want to imprint on you guys when it comes to having a coach is that a lot of times in our industry, we can create stories that suggest that the only people who will make good coaches are the ones who are the best at sales, the best at recruiting, the person with the most followers on social media, the influencers. Oh, well, she's obviously a great coach because she has 70,000 followers. She knows what she's doing. He's obviously a great coach because he's walking across stage at the awards getting recognized. He's obviously a great coach because he's top sales and on the leaderboards every single time. But there is a massive difference between competence and conscious competence. And sometimes those highest achievers are very unconscious to the things that they did to actually get the results. And I want you to think about a pro football team. I want you to think about Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, one of the best quarterback coach duos ever. Could you imagine if Tom Brady said, Bill Belichick, you can't coach me because you can't do my job as good as I can? But that's what happens in network marketing. That's what happens in network marketing. People turn down incredible coaches and mentors because they think that the only person to coach them is the person who has number one sales, most followers on social media, the most influence, the most recruits. Sometimes the best coach is the person who has a different angle, a different view of the game, who possesses a different skill than you. So it's a yin and yang. It's you know, you're the quarterback, but I'm running the plays. I can see what the other team's doing. I'm calling the plays, right? The best coaches aren't necessarily always the highest achievers and the best players. It doesn't mean that they're not great coaches. And so as a network marketer, don't underestimate the person who's been doing this for 20 years, who might not have a huge, massive social media following. So you think they don't know anything, right? Or the person who's not on the leaderboards, but understands and is consciously competent about this industry. And that's what I'll end that with, because a coachable player is also someone who recognizes who a good coach is. And it's not always just in it. I'm not saying that high achievers don't make good coaches. I'm just saying a coachable player is able to identify a good coach, and that doesn't always align with top sales, top recruiting, all the awards, most followers on social media. Sometimes really great coaches are very strategic thinking. They understand big picture. They don't get caught up in details. They're great instructors. They're great at making things simple. They're great at giving very specific action, right? Some of the best coaches out there are not the ones just getting in all the sales. They're the ones behind the scenes sharing, hey, this is what I see is trending right now. If you want to go get more sales, here's a shift, here's a pivot, here's something that you can do. And the most coachable player is going to take that and run with it. And together you build something massive. And so I encourage you, if you are looking for a mentor, if you are looking for a coach in this business, make sure you are a coachable player. Make sure you are not taking coaching as just suggestion. Make sure that you are identifying yourself as coachable by taking action, by executing. the things that your coach is asking you to do, by showing your coach and your mentor and your leader that you are willing, by being open to hearing constructive feedback and not just always wanting a pat on the back. Be coachable. And it's uncomfortable. I'm not saying that it's not uncomfortable to hear what you need to stop doing or what you should start doing, but it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. And so with that being said, maybe you're not sure if you're coachable or not. I created a self-assessment. It's 10 questions that you could take to identify how coachable you are. I'm going to be dropping it in the Telegram. So we have a Telegram channel for this podcast community, and we have a Facebook group for the podcast community called Network Marketers Players Club. I encourage you to join. I will put the links in the show notes. In there, you will find the self-assessment that you could print off or just follow along on your computer. It's a PDF, and you could take a self-assessment and you could see how coachable you are. And then take this as your first step to becoming a more coachable player, so that you, quite frankly, earn the time and energy of your mentors. All right. And so if you found that valuable, don't forget to share, like, take a screenshot, and put it in your stories. Tag me at melissamae.insta. 5-star reviews are incredibly appreciated. I have zero plans of ever offering to sell you guys anything. I'm not trying to recruit you with this podcast. I'm not trying to make money of this podcast. I'm simply sharing what I know, adding value to an incredible industry that's given me so much. And I love giving back to it. And I love helping people achieve massive amounts of success in this industry. And I want to make sure that I'm showing people how to do it the right way. So if you found this valuable, please remember to follow. Please take a screenshot, share it in your stories, tag at melissamae.insta. And if you found it valuable, your 5-star reviews are also greatly appreciated. I will see you next time.